All right, Rob, it's a cold night here at Boone Pickens Stadium for this Big 12 matchup. We hope it's as good as that Pac-12 game between Arizona and Washington. Winner gets bowl eligibility, Texas and Oklahoma State. And we say welcome inside. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Button joins us in a moment. So clearly at this point, these are two teams lately headed in different directions. And Joey, let's start talking about Texas. They've won 3 of 4 after the slow start. They were 2-4 to begin the Charlie Strong era. And in the process of turning it around lately, they've seemingly found an identity.
Well, yeah, that identity is running the football and playing great defense. Over the last 2 games, they've rushed for nearly 500 yards, but it's the defense that has been absolutely dominant. They've got potential All-Americans at every level. In the secondary, it's Quandre Diggs. At linebacker, it's Jordan Hicks. Defensive end, Cedric Reed has been really unimpressive up until last week when he had 4 tackles for loss and 3 sacks in the game against West Virginia. I mean, this defense is probably one of the best in the country and is playing spectacular right now.
So Texas playing some of its best football of the season. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, has dropped 3 in a row after the 5-1 start. First time since 2005 they've lost 3 games in a row. So against Texas tonight, how do they end the slide?
Well, ironically, it's with defense. I mean, Oklahoma State, you think of them in a high-flying, high-powered offense. They've only scored 33 points over the last 3 games, 11 points a game, which is way under Mike Gundy's expectations. On the defensive side, though, they have got a guy, Emmanuel Ogbah, who can single-handedly change a football game. This guy leads the Big 12 in tackles for loss. He's second in sacks, and he's the type of defensive end who not only is a prototypical NFL guy, but he has the talent to change the game immediately by himself.
All right, it's Texas and it's Oklahoma State with the winner gaining bowl eligibility. Texas trying to keep the momentum rolling. Oklahoma State trying to put an end to this slide. It's a Big 12 matchup from Stillwater, and it kicks off on the other side of this break. College football is presented by K Jewelers, and back here in Stillwater on senior night for Oklahoma State, where one of the narratives all week was the pending doom of the weather, but not nearly as bad as folks said it would be. No precipitation in the forecast. Temperature in the low 40s. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington upstairs, and on the sidelines tonight, Chris Button.
Hey, Joe, well, tonight will be an emotional night for Oklahoma State running back Desmond Rowland. He was playing in his first game since his mom passed away just about 2 weeks ago. Carolyn Richard Rowland, just 47 years old, died from a long battle with cancer. She went to almost every game in her son's career. To make tonight even more emotional, it is senior night here at Oklahoma State. Desmond was accompanied on the field by his grandmother and his dad, and a nice embrace and an even bigger applause from these Cowboys fans. Desmond said that he wants to honor his mom by his performance tonight, Joe.
All right, Chris, so he returns after missing the game 2 weeks ago at Kansas State for Mike Gundy, who's now in his 10th season and has won 26 consecutive home games against unranked opponents. And Texas comes into this one unranked. Oklahoma State trying to get back on track. They started 5-1. Now they've lost 3 in a row. Meanwhile, Charlie Strong's team has won 3 of 4 after the 2-4 start. They're trying to win 3 in a row for the first time. The winner of this one becomes bowl eligible. Texas won the toss and deferred to the second half, so it's Oklahoma State to get it to begin at the 25-yard line as Tyreek Hill takes a knee. And Joey gives us 3 things we need to know.
Well, first of all, Dax Garman making his 8th start. Started hot, but he's looking to find some consistency. But you know what they have found is they found a perfect complement to Desmond Rowland. Tyreek Hill is the lightning to his thunder, the yin to his yang, the jelly to his peanut butter. This guy is fantastic. On the other side of the ball, all you got to know right now is Malcolm Brown. He is one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the country. He can disrupt that running game for Oklahoma State.
And part of one of the Big 12's top defenses, they held West Virginia to a season-low 16 points in that upset win last week. OK State begins from the 25 with a rolling run, and there is that man right there, Malcolm Brown, junior out of Brenham, Texas, playing at an All-American level right now.
Well, you know what? Coach Vance Bedford said this guy might be the best three technique in the country. And you can make the argument with Danny Shelton at Washington, but there aren't too many other guys that you can have that conversation with.
2nd down and 9. They fake it to Hill, and Garmin under pressure across his body. Completes it underneath, but for a loss. Steve Edmonds stopping Desmond Rowland, and it's 3rd down and long for this offense. And Dax Garmin, who really has come into a tough situation. Lack of a run game, even though they've got a couple of good running backs. That O-line has struggled, hasn't opened up much. They sure as heck haven't protected him very well.
Well, that's the key. Is no quarterback can succeed if you're not protecting. When you're not protecting, you're putting Dax in a tough position, and then when you don't throw the ball well, you don't run the ball well. It all starts up front for that Oklahoma State offense.
They motion Tyreek Hill out, the speedster, the nearest receiver to the top. They run a wheel with him, but Garmin is sacked. Malcolm Brown with 2 tackles on this opening possession, including his 5th sack of the year, and it's a 3-and-out for this struggling Oklahoma State offense.
Well, you know what? Vance Bedford said he might be the best 3 technique. I think I may agree with him right now. I mean, 2 plays in a row here. Malcolm Brown simply has a great individual effort, pushes the offensive lineman out of the way, and just makes a play in the backfield. Those are the kind of individual efforts that just spur on a team, a defense to have the success that they have lately.
Kip Smith to punt it away to Jackson Shipley, who takes a fair catch at the 43. And this Texas offense trying to build off its 2 best rushing games of the season. Give us 3 things we need to know.
Well, again, the 10th career start for Tyrone Swoops, another young quarterback. And offensive coordinator Sean Watson said every game he just gets another piece of experience to add to that puzzle. And until he has the puzzle complete, rely on these 2 guys, Malcolm Brown, the other Malcolm Brown, and Jonathan Gray. Nearly 500 yards of rush in the last 2 games. Beware of Emmanuel Ogba. We talked about him at the start of the game. This guy is an NFL-type defensive end and can change a game in an instant.
Part of a relatively strong front 7, but in the back end, they've given up more passing yards than any team in the Big 12. Swoop starts with a bubble. Jackson Shipley gets a block from John Harris and a 1st down across midfield. 3rd in program history with 214 catches now. There's Tyrone Swoops. You mentioned his 10th start, looking for that consistency. He's shown flashes. How about the Red River game against Oklahoma? 384 yards of total offense. But then last week against West Virginia, below 40%.
Well, and that's what you're going to get from a young quarterback. I mean, I remember when I was a sophomore playing, you'd have an up game, you had a down game. But the key is to learn from all those experiences and put them together to become a more consistent player.
Jay Johnson coming across the formation. And the speedster with a move and a cut for 6. This is a guy they're trying to get more and more involved. He missed about a month suspended, then missed more time with a hamstring injury. But he gives them an element they don't really have.
Well, that's an explosive element. I mean, he's the only guy in school history with a punt return of over 80 yards and a rush of over 80 yards. I mean, this guy is just flat out, he's just fast.
Good start for the Texas offense on 2nd and 3. First carry, Malcolm Brown. He's close to a 1st down. Tackle made by Seth Jacobs. Behind this offensive line for Texas with 5 first-year starters, they've started to turn things around. We talk about Oklahoma State struggling on offense, stemming from the O-line struggles. This turnaround for Texas offense largely because of the improvement of the O-line.
Well, yeah, the last 4 or 5 games, they've found some consistency. And Coach Charlie Strong said it came when Taylor Doyle moved down to center, taking the place of injured Dominic Espinoza, who'd started 39 straight. You need a rock in the middle of your O-line.
On 3rd down and short, De La Torre leading the way for Brown. He bounces outside, runs through a defender, and gets a 1st down to the 31. Trey Flowers with a tackle on the senior that's run for more than 2,500 yards in his career.
And Joe, while the numbers don't say they're that different, Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray both bring something special. What Malcolm Brown brings is this. Wham! He brings the shoulder and runs right through those DBs. Jonathan Gray, the quicker of the 2, really starting to look like himself after that Achilles injury from last year.
Fresh set of downs from the 31. They toss it to Brown. He gets a few. Jordan Stearns with the tackle from his safety spot. Couple of products of Cibolo Steel High School in Texas. There's Brown, great leader for this group. Talk about 2 guys that have had to share carries in Brown and Gray. Two highly decorated recruits, but have come in and shared the load and have become really together the leaders of this offense.
Well, yeah, and you don't see that very often. Malcolm Brown was the second best high school running back in the country in his class, and Jonathan Gray was the best high school running back in his class. And to put them both in the same backfield and have them thrive like that says a lot about these guys' character.
Shipley off of the speed out, and in rhythm is Swoops to hit him for a gain that's close to a first down, sets up a manageable 3rd and short.
Well, Joe, I want to go back to this. A lot of teams now are starting to move towards multiple featured backs, not wanting to run somebody down over the course of a season. But when you've got guys who are so highly recruited like Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray, you know, superstars for their entire career, to have them both coexist in such a great way says a lot about what they're doing here at Texas.
Out of the pistol on 3rd and short. Swoops looking to throw, has McFarland wide open in the flats, and the tight end with a first down inside the 20. MJ McFarland, junior out of El Paso, and a guy with solid potential at that tight end spot.
Well, Joe, what you've seen Tyrone Swoops do now is throw a couple quick passes, a bubble screen out to start the game, a completion a moment ago to Shipley, now a little quick out. What he's doing is getting in rhythm. He's getting some confidence. These short throws at the beginning of a ball game set up the possible big explosions later on.
And into the part of the field where he's at his best, the best red zone passer in the country. Fumbles the ball and then picks it up and goes down. It's Emmanuel Ogbo with a sack. Leads the Big 12 in sacks and tackles for loss and gets his first tonight.
Well, that one, it wasn't all on him. You know, he got into the backfield. Swoops happened to drop the ball, but we talked about earlier, Emmanuel Ogbo is just a fantastic defensive end, and you got to know where he is at all times. And you got to not drop the football in the backfield.
That would help.
That would help.
You got that guy bearing down on you. Just a sophomore, 6'4", 270 out of Houston. That one backs him up 11. 2nd down and 21. Throwing into the short side. He's got Ja'Cory Warwick, only his 5th catch of the season. Gains back the yardage lost on the fumble, 3rd and 10.
Well, and here's what I like about that throw, is a lot of young quarterbacks would say, I got to get it all back right away. You're 2nd and long, I got to get the big chunk. And most of the time it doesn't happen, so then you put yourself in 3rd and 20. Tyrone Swoops took the quick hitch. He took the yardage. Now you're back in a 3rd and manageable situation, which is a lot easier to convert if you're a young quarterback.
He's hit his first 4 passes 1 week after converting under 40% of his throws. 3rd down and 10. Four-man rush. Throw into the end zone in the corner for Harris. Drops it in. Touchdown Texas on a perfect throw from Swoops to John Harris from 19 yards.
Joe, this doesn't look like a young quarterback to me right now. Reads the coverage perfectly. Finds his favorite receiver, John Harris, and just drops the ball into the bucket. Great route, fantastic throw, great read by Tyrone Swoops.
Who hits all 5 of his throws on the opening drive. That one's fumbled by the holder. Another ball comes out and is picked up. The holder is the backup punter, William Russ, who lost his punting job last week and unable to pull that snap down. So on 3rd down, the third down conversion of this opening drive for the Longhorns. In the corner, it's Harris quietly having one of the best seasons for a receiver in program history. And what a start for Texas, looking for win number 3 in a row. Back on Fox College Football, presented by Cade Jewelers. Texas is the worst 3rd down team in the Big 12 on the season, but they convert 3 3rd downs on that drive and finish the drive with a Swoops touchdown throw to Harris. Swoops 5 of 5 on that possession, completing a pass to 4 different receivers. Rose will kick it away. One of the nation's most dangerous return men, Tyreek Hill, waiting back on it. And Hill will bring it out of the end zone. Patience to set up the blocks. Gets to the sideline and steps out of bounds at the 33. Tyreek Hill has taken 2 back for touchdowns this year. Returns this one 32 yards, and the OK State offense back on the field when you come back with Hill and Rowland both set to see touches for this offense, trying to break some bad rhythm lately. Fox College Football is sponsored by Dell's Venue 8 7000 series, the world's thinnest tablet. Back in Stillwater with a temperature in below 40s early on in this first quarter. Time now for the evil within keys to the game, Joey.
Well, didn't Daryl K. Royal say dance with the one that brung you, right?
Yeah.
Texas, run the football and play defense. That's how you've gotten here. That's how you're on your winning streak. Oklahoma State, it starts up front. The blocking by the offensive line springs everything, but you also got to block 3 potential all Big 12 D linemen, Cedric Reed, Malcolm Brown, and Hassan Ridgeway.
Fullback in the game now to help that offensive line out. They start on the ground for a short gain with Desmond rolling. Haynes over there with Hughes to combine in the tackle. This OK State offense, 2 touchdowns over the last 3 games. You got to go back to 2000 to find the last time they scored 14 or fewer in 3 straight. Tyreek Hill in the backfield now, track champion. Shall return that kick for 32 yards. They run the draw to him. Texas is ready, and Malcolm Brown makes contact but can't bring him down. Diggs is up from his corner spot to drop him at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
Well, I don't think saying a track star is giving this guy quite enough credit. Ran a 20.14 200 back in high school. That would have been good enough for 6th place in the 2012 London Olympics. I mean, this guy is world-class fast, but if you don't have the holes to run through, it's not going to do you any good.
And Oklahoma State had a 3-and-out on its first possession, looking at a long 3rd down here. Longhorns showed blitz and then backed off with a 4-man rush. Garmin throwing too tall, and it's 4th down. You saw him getting happy feet even though he had a solid pocket. It's only natural that when you face as much pressure as he does, that'll happen.
It's tough for a quarterback to sit in there and get hit and get hit and get hit. And then when you get protected, to feel like you've got the time. He had the time to throw it. He just overthrew his receiver down the field. It's a tough position for a quarterback to be in when you take a beating like he has up to this point to really sit in there and deliver the ball when he needs to.
6 plays and negative yardage for Oklahoma State. Shipley with his 2nd fair catch back inside the 20. And that's where Texas will begin its 2nd possession. Went 57 yards for a score on their first drive. Back to Stillwater after this. Charlie Strong, first year as head coach at Texas, got off to that 2-4 start, but they've won 3 of their last 4 and are starting to have some fun, Chris Button.
Well, yeah, people perceive him to be this tough, no-nonsense guy. That's why people were pretty surprised when this video went viral after last week's win over West Virginia during the celebration. Charlie Strong crowd surfing on his players. He said, I went up for a chest bump, they just threw me in the air. But the players say this is what he's like. He likes to laugh, he likes to dance, and it's easier when you win.
Yeah, and they're off to a good start in this one, looking for win number 3 in a row. They start rolling Swoops, who's good off play action, turns the shoulders and throws too tall for Shipley. So it'll be 2nd down. Swoops with his first incompletion. Remember, Charlie Strong suspended 8 players during the offseason and leading up into the first couple of weeks of the regular season. And he got that outside image that he was ruling with the iron fist, and he may have been. He has his standards that he wants met. And if they're not, then so long. But these kids enjoy playing for him. On 2nd down, Jonathan Gray with his first carry goes for 4. And 3rd down coming up for Texas.
Well, Joe, I think it's important for a coach to come in and really establish the rules. You know, let people know, let the players know what I expect you to do if you want to be part of this program. That's how all successful programs, businesses, anything works. You need to know what to expect. You need to know the standards to meet. And so I don't disagree with what Charlie Strong did to start the season, and it's really paying off for Texas down the road, like right now.
Longhorns converted all 3 3rd downs on their first drive. Here's 3rd and 6. Swoops double clutches and throws the slant. It's Harris and a 1st down up to the 43. So Texas is 4 for 4 to begin on 3rd down.
Well, Joe, right up here, John Harris at the top. Tyrone Swoops holds on to the ball for a minute, waits for him to clear into that 2nd window, and then delivers a great ball right in the face mask of John Harris. He has no chance but to catch that ball and turn upfield. Nice throw, nice read. Good conversion for Texas on third down.
Joey, that guy had 9 catches over his first 3 seasons. He's got 52 this year as a senior. First down from the 43. They fake the Gray and roll swoops again. Pursued by Jimmy Bean and angled out of bounds by Seth Jacobs. Time now for a Lowe's Never Stop Improving game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
All right,
Greg, 6-0 here. Texas in front of Oklahoma State. The Longhorns with the ball again. Here's Gray, foot in the ground, bursting through the hole, and Jonathan Gray is inside the 35. Trey Flowers ran him down after a run of 22 yards.
And Joe, it's nice to see that explosion coming back for Jonathan Gray. Had such a difficult injury last year, tearing his Achilles tendon, but has really slowly worked back at the start of the season. Really hasn't been himself until about a week or 2 ago. You're starting to see that explosion come back for Jonathan Gray.
Had his first 100-yard game last week, a career-high 3 touchdowns in the win against West Virginia. From the 34, swoops will look to throw, and as Gray out of the backfield, defender took a chance, and Gray makes him pay with 17 yards.
Boy, what concentration by Jonathan Gray there. The ball nearly intercepted before he got a chance to get his hands on it. Jimmy Bean makes a nice play, nearly gets that one, but that's such a difficult catch because you got a guy right in front of you. Nice job by Jonathan Gray, concentrating on that ball, bringing it in and making a nice first down.
You mentioned the Achilles injury that cut last season short. Took him a while to bounce back from that, to trust that leg again. First down from the 17. Here's Johnson off of the jet sweep, making a cut, breaking a tackle, and powering his way close to the sticks. Second time they've given the ball to D'Jay Johnson, who they're trying to work more and more into the offense.
Yeah, he's their explosion guy. I mean, he's the fastest guy on that offense, and you got to find a way to get his hands on the ball. He's not really a true running back, maybe a little bit small, not quite a true wide receiver, doesn't quite have the route running ability, but he's somebody that you just have to get the ball in his hands because he's so explosive.
Yeah, just about every one of his touches have come off as some type of sweep play. This one goes for 9. And second down and 1. Here's Gray. And he'll set up first down and goal for Texas.
Joe, you mentioned it earlier, the success that Tyrone Swoops has had in the red zone. I mean, he's been a tremendous, one of the best quarterbacks in the country once he gets inside that 20-yard line, and that's not something that you expect to see from such a young quarterback making only his 10th start.
Texas, 13 of its last 15 getting scores once entering the red zone. First down and goal. De La Torre leading the way for Gray, who slices his way through and in for the touchdown. Jonathan Gray behind the block from De La Torre, and Texas with 2 scores on as many possessions to start.
Joe, this is just good old-fashioned power football. Watch the fullback, Alex De La Torre, get out and just clear the way for Jonathan Gray to power his way into the end zone. Nothing tricky, nothing special about that. Block the guy in front of you, run into the end zone.
7th touchdown of the season for Gray. 4 of those 7 touchdowns coming over the last 5 quarters. Able to convert this extra point with Nick Rose, and it's 13-0 Texas. Trying to win 3 in a row for the first time and become bowl eligible in Charlie Strong's debut season. Oklahoma State needs something to go right. Down 13-0. Fox College Football is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Back here in Stillwater and all Texas so far in this Big 12 matchup. Back-to-back scoring drives to begin for the offense. This one an impressive 9-play, 81-yard drive capped off by a Jonathan Gray score.
Well, and they did it the way they've been doing it the last couple of weeks, running the ball, Swoops hitting some nice short passes. I mean, they've found a rhythm. I mean, that's what it is more than anything. It's just chunk, 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 chunk. There's no big explosive plays, but they're just doing it small piece at a time, and those are the type of things that build your confidence.
Meanwhile, Mike Gundy's team just trying to find some sense of rhythm, something to feel good about, and they've gotten off to such poor starts. It's been hard to break out of this funk. They've lost 3 in a row for the first time since 2005. Really couldn't have gotten off to any worse start this one. Tyreek Hill, their most dangerous playmaker, with his hands on the ball. And a flag comes in. So this will bring it back inside the 20-yard line. And Texas has an injured player.
During the return, block in the back, receiving team, number 48. At the distance to the goal, first down.
Reggie Smith, head referee tonight. Now, Thursday, Fox Sports 1 is the place to turn for a Big 12 matchup. 13th ranked K-State battling West Virginia. All beginning Thursday, 7 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's a West Virginia team that had TCU beat a couple of weeks ago. They beat Baylor, went down to Austin and got whooped by the Longhorns last week. It's on Thursday night. Oklahoma State starting this drive backed into its own end, looking for its first down. Garmin with a strong throw. They've got that first down with Brandon Shepard taking the ball out to the 29.
Now there you go. We said on the last drive, Dax Garmin looked like he got some happy feet in the pocket. That time, nice play action, sat in there, wait for his receiver to open up and delivered a strike. Well done by Dax Garmin, sitting in the pocket and throwing a nice ball out to his wide receiver.
Yeah, first 2 drives for this OK State offense, negative yardage with a pair of 3-and-outs. Hill with a flag down. Hill gets 4. Crowd wants a face mask. They're not going to get it. Instead, they'll get a blocking foul, whether it's a holding. There's Reggie Smith to let us know officially.
Personal foul, leg whip, offense, number 58. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It was on Daniel Koenig, the left tackle. Offensive line, the biggest issue for Mike Gundy's team. 3 first-year starters. This is their most experienced guy.
Right there, Daniel Koenig, the senior tonight. Yeah, that's the right call. Tried to cut Nashawn Hughes there off the edge and missed him. So flipped his leg back and tried to get him that way. Can't do that. No, no, no.
So first down and 25 now. Going outside, Marcel Aitman with the reception to the 24. Their tallest target at 6'4". Oklahoma State offense only 2 touchdowns over the last 3 games, and in the first 2 possessions, negative yardage with a couple of punts. Finding a bit of rhythm early on this drive, but now trying to overcome a 15-yard penalty.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. They've found a little bit of rhythm, and it's come from the passing game. Dax Garmin has thrown 2 nice balls out to his left there and didn't try and get it all back in one chunk, just trying to work your way back from the penalty. Nice decision, nice read, nice throw. Keep it up.
Garmin sets his feet, throws a perfect strike that's dry. Aitman had it right in his hands and couldn't pull it in. 3rd down and long.
And Joe, I love the decision there. Dax Garmin waited for his wide receiver, waited for Aitman to get into the second window. There was a Texas defender right in front of him as he was ready to throw the ball. Instead, he waited. Watch, you're going to see number 3, Jordan Hicks, gets right in the way, waits for him to get to the second window. Has nothing but green grass in front of him, and he's got to make that catch.
So now 3rd down and 15 for the Cowboys. Texas showing pressure. They back off, rushing only 4. Garmin throws underneath and has Seals for a short gain. Steve Edmonds all over him. And the punt team onto the field again for Oklahoma State. So this Texas defense off to a dominant start again as we look at our KFC stat comparison. On the left-hand column, you see what Texas held the Big 12 opponents to. Right-hand column, the average against other teams in the Big 12 for the opponents. My goodness, some dominating performances for that Texas defense. Only Iowa State scored more than its season average against Texas. Jackson Shipley with a return to the 35, bringing this first quarter to a close. Now the last two opponents have been held under half of their season scoring average by Texas, a team that has continued its momentum into Stillwater. It scores on both of its drives in the first quarter. They'll have it to begin the second when you come back. Clark's College Football is presented by K Jewelers. Through the quarter here in Stillwater. All Texas so far, 13-0, scoring touchdowns on each of its first quarter drives and averaging more than 7 yards a play in that opening quarter.
Well, yeah, there were a few big runs there on that second drive, but they were all set up by very basic, well-executed plays. I mean, this isn't an offense that's been going deep down the field, but what they're doing is they're getting their explosive plays by doing things right, doing the very basic things right, like blocking and running the football.
Begin this quarter with a bootleg from Swoops, who's under pressure, and smartly heaves it out of bounds with the pressure coming from Ogba.
Smart play by Tyrone Swoops right there. A lot of times you see quarterbacks kind of throw the ball out of bounds. You know, just get it near the sideline and it may get almost picked off. That one, he just chucked into the fourth row, so I'm not even going to leave any gray area there. That's going in the stands.
This is a big defensive possession for Glenn Spencer's unit. The defense allowing 30 points a game, third most in the Big 12. Right now, a lot of pressure on this unit because the offense is struggling as badly as it is. On second down and 10. On the slant, it's Shipley for 9 yards. Third down and 1.
Joe, I told you earlier today, I'm a big Jackson Shipley fan. I really am. I love what this guy brings to this Texas offense. Consistency. You know, he's not John Harris. He's not that deep threat. But what he is, he's the guy that you can rely on. He's the guy who moves the chains, who runs the great routes, who finds the opening in the zones. He's a smart football player and the type of guy that Tyrone Swoops can rely on.
High formation on third and short. Texas perfect on third down in the first quarter. Here comes Malcolm Brown with a seam for a first down up to the 46. Once again, Texas able to convert on third down, largely because it's third and short.
Well, and again, it's just a well-blocked play and a well-executed run by Malcolm Brown. Nothing special about what they did. Log the defensive end, seal off that edge, put a blocker out in front of him, and let him get himself a first down.
So much of third down success or lack of has to do with first and second down.
Very true. And 3rd and 2 is a lot easier to convert than 3rd and 10.
From the 47, a straight drop back with the pressure picked up down the sideline. It's Harris, and it's out in front of him. The coverage coming from Kevin Peterson, who shut down Kevin White a couple of weeks ago of West Virginia. Only 3 catches for 27 yards for the Big 12's top receiver.
Well, yeah, and Kevin Peterson is one of only 2 teams, or one of only, Oklahoma State, I should say, is one of only 2 teams, Texas being the other, that shut down Kevin White. Kevin Peterson was singled up on him most of the night, and you said it, held him to 3 catches for only 27 yards for a guy who had 100 yards every single game.
Here's Brown, nice cut, spinning his way across midfield, breaking the tackle of Stevens and getting a first down inside the 40. Malcolm Brown runs for 15 yards.
Joe, again, you see Malcolm Brown drop his shoulder on an unsuspecting defensive back. I mean, gosh, the guy is just such a powerful runner. It's such a luxury to have 2 different types of back, and Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray complement each other so well.
Saw Jimmy Bean there limping off. He's been battling a leg injury. First down and straight downhill. It's Brown sticking the nose down, and finally somebody steps up in the run. Looked like Josh Furman, the Michigan transfer, along with Seth Jacobs. Got a yard or 2. It'll be second down. Texas, talked about it off at the top, Joey, has established that identity as a downhill running team, a physical downhill running team, much in the personality of head coach Charlie Strong. On second down, they fake it to Brown and dump it off. Jonathan Gray tumbling forward for a few. Richards with a stop and third down once again coming up for Texas.
Well, and third and short is what it is. While those two previous plays didn't look like a whole lot, a gain of 2 and a gain of 3, they've set themselves up for a third and short here. And those are the things that make it so much easier for young quarterbacks. Tyrone Swoops dealing with third and short, while Dax Garman on the other side is dealing with third and long.
All 11 men stand for Oklahoma State, trying to make it hard on the sophomore Swoops. They bring heat. Swoops steps into his throw. It's Harris, and it's 6 for 6 on third down for the Longhorns inside the 25.
Joe, Tyrone Swoops does not look like a sophomore right now. I mean, the guy looks like a veteran upperclassman quarterback. He's delivering the ball with confidence, and he's making quick decisions. I mean, that's the thing. There's no hesitation on where he's going. I know where I'm going. I see the coverage. I'm throwing the ball.
10 of his first 13. 1 week after completing under 40%. DeJay Johnson into the short side. Unable to turn the corner and thrown out of bounds by Seth Jacobs.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, trying to get the ball to DeJay Johnson in as many ways as you can. It happens so often on that fly sweep where he's coming across the formation. But what it did, it was really the first negative play that Texas has had, and now you're 2nd and 15. We've seen Dax Garman and Tyrone Swoops both try and get those, or not try and get all the yardage back in one chunk. Let's see what Tyrone Swoops does here. See if he can get it into a third and manageable situation.
Draw play for Brown. Not much room. The strength of that OK State defense is the defensive line, and they do a good job to bottle Brown up. And because first and second down are better for the defense, third down and long.
Well, Joe, let's give a little bit of credit to this Oklahoma State front seven. This is a good unit. I mean, this is a very good front seven. Did a nice job against West Virginia, really holding him in check for the majority of the game, and had that game until late in the fourth quarter.
The flag comes in. Like the right side of that line got moving.
Full start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
And it is the right guard, Kent Perkins. That moves them, at least for now, out of field goal range. Longest this season for Nick Rose is 46. They need to get to the 29 to get to within that range. Swoops over the middle, and it's incomplete. Perfectly timed by Jordan Stearns, and fourth down coming up.
Well, Joe, you mentioned it. The timing was absolutely perfect by Jordan Stearns there. Way to read the eyes of Tyrone Swoops. Sees the receiver coming in, running the dig route across the middle, and just drives it. The leading tackler on this Oklahoma State defense. Also has a couple of forced fumbles, a couple of tackles for loss, couple pass breakup. This guy does everything for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, really nice play to force the field goal attempt, and they'll try it from 51 for Nick Rose. High snap, pulled down, and the kick. Fading throw with room to spare. Career long for a guy that once reportedly hit a 75-yarder in an indoor practice facility during the offseason. It doesn't count. This one does, and scores on all three possessions for the Longhorns. 16-0, and back to Stillwater after this break. Fox College football is presented by Cade Jewelers. All Texas so far. Off to a 16-0 lead. Scores on all three drives. And a career long for Nick Rose from 51 yards. Plenty of room to spare.
That might have been good from 75.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill. Oklahoma State just looking for something to get any kind of momentum. Another strong-legged kick from Rose. minimizes the damage Hill can do. Texas defense, coming off shutting down West Virginia, has limited Oklahoma State to 29 yards through the first quarter plus. The Longhorns D back on the field after this. Fox College football is sponsored by Nissan, innovation that excites. Back here in Stillwater, and we take a look at our Nissan Heisman Watch. Now they say everybody that wins the Heisman has a Heisman moment. I think Melvin Gordon's day would qualify as such.
That is not a typo. 408 yards today for Melvin Gordon. Dak Prescott, on the other hand, costly interception there in the end zone late in the game against Alabama. 408 yards.
NCAA record. Oklahoma State back to work, and Garmin throwing incomplete. Looking for David Glidden, second down.
408 yards. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Against the black shirt defense, right? Against Nebraska.
Wow. Sorry, I know we got a game going on here, but that's incredible.
Second down and 10 for Oklahoma State. One first down for the Cowboys so far. Tyreek Hill unable to get outside. Quandre Diggs with the open field tackle. Third down.
Joe, and that's what happens so often with these running backs who are so fast that they think they can always get to the outside. That time, Tyreek Hill, if he'd simply put his foot in the ground and cut upfield, he had a lane. You can't always try to break the big one. That time, just take what you can get. That's what Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray do so well, is they just put their head down and go. That time, if Tyreek Hill puts his head down, he's got himself 5 or 6 yards.
Longhorns showing pressure on third down. They've been able to get pressure with just 3 or 4 so far. They bring 3. Here's Washington. And Texas has it bottled up. Michael Thompson there with Dylan Haynes, and it's yet another 3 and out for this Cowboys offense.
Joe, this is not the same Texas football team that we saw early in the season. We had them against BYU in the second game of the year, and to start the second half, BYU came out and imposed their will on this Longhorn team. I mean, just marched down the field whenever they wanted to. This Texas defense is playing as well as anybody in the country right now.
High snap pulled down and sent away by Kip Smith. It's a short one, and Shipley takes it at the 36-yard line. Texas has won 3 of 4. They certainly look like the hotter of the 2 teams so far in this one. Longhorns outgaining the Cowboys 174-34. Once again, Brown and Gray have done well for Texas, and more mistakes for Oklahoma State. More poor offense for the Cowboys. So we look at our game summary brought to you by Dell. How about that? 6 scores in the last 47 drives for Oklahoma State.
That is not a Mike Gundy offense right there. That's not Brandon Wheaton and Justin Blackman and Clint Shell for J.W. Walsh, for that matter.
Swoops throwing for Harris with flags flying in. All over the place. Was tipped by Ryan Simmons.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 65 and number 66. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Hutchins and Flowers on the left side of the line.
Joe, here's where the chop block is on the left side of the line. You'll see it. When you have a player engaged high, you cannot go low on him. In 66, right there, Cedric Flowers, even though he puts his hands on it, didn't look like much. The fact that he has his hands on him high, you cannot go low on a defender. That's the right call.
So moves him back. The replay first down. Swoops will hand it off to Gray, who explodes through the hole up to the 30. Jordan Stearns making the tackle. Gray with a touchdown run in that first quarter. Off to another good start. 5 carries, 43 yards. 1 week after his first 100-yard game of the season. 4 of his 7 touchdowns now have come in the last 3 halves of football. Second and 17. Swoops off his back foot, finds Shipley. Once again doing well. Stand in the pocket and find an open man. Flag came into the backfield after that pass was thrown.
Joe, it looked like Ofahoutau got in there for the Oklahoma State defensive line. You're probably going to get a hold here.
There's Reggie Smith.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 98. A low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Which is a new emphasis in college football this year.
Wow, watch Ofahoutau. I thought you were going to get Kent Perkins there on the hold as Houtau got right by him, and you could see Perkins' arms get extended. Boy, right there. It is the right call. He went low. But frankly, I think they missed a holding call there by Perkins.
The crowd doesn't like it, but like you said, that is the way it's supposed to be called this year. Trying to protect the quarterback. Yet another way they tried to protect the quarterback. So that moves him into Oklahoma State territory. Jonathan Gray pulled down at the line of scrimmage by Ogburn. Second down. This crowd just so frustrated right now. First time since '05, Mike Gundy's first year, that they've dropped 3 games in a row. They lost 5 in a row that season. Won only 4 games. And after a great start this year, remember they were 5-1, took Florida State down to the wire week 1. Struggling to get back on track. On second down, here's Gray into the short side with a gaping hole, and Gray's across the 40, setting up 3rd and short.
Joe, watch the great job the offensive line does here. They are simply going to wall off. There's going to be a lane right through there. Look at that. 3 Texas offensive players just creating a wall that Oklahoma State cannot get through. Well done by the front for that Texas Longhorn offense.
Nice job by the fullback Alex De La Torre once again. He's had a good game, helping that offensive line out. Texas 6 of 7 on 3rd down. Here's 3rd and 1. De La Torre again paving the way for a first down run for Gray.
Well, Joe, De La Torre again paving the way. The offensive line again opening up a hole. And again, Texas converting on 3rd and short. That's the key. These 3rd down and 1, 3rd down and 2 are set up by plays like we saw previously. And your playbook opens up, even if they wanted to. I mean, what it does now is it sets up the opportunity to do a hard play action on 3rd and short, take a shot. These plays set up big ones down later in the field, or excuse me, later in the game.
Here's Gray again with a huge hole, and another first down inside the 25. This offensive line, which had struggled so much early in the season, they had 5 different starting groups over the first 5 games. They moved Doyle from guard to center, and this is now the 5th consecutive game that this starting 5 has been together, and the continuity has been huge. 3rd consecutive good game on the ground for this Texas team. Already got over 100 today. Another first down. Swoops, bubbles it out. Here comes Gray with blockers in front to pave the way to set up 1st and goal. And it doesn't matter what Texas is doing right now. It's working.
God, you know what? That play was set up outside. Quick little flare out into the flat. Watch Jackson Shipley. You see him motioning across. He's going to get the block to spring Jonathan Gray. I said earlier, I love what Jackson Shipley brings to this team. He does all the little things. He catches the short balls. He moves the chains on 3rd down. He gets the big blocks. He does all of the little things. Coach Watson said he does the plumber's work, the stuff that nobody really notices but turns into big plays.
First down and goal for the Longhorns. It's Gray again. Unable to reverse field. Ryan Simmons drops him. And 2nd down and goal. Heavy dose of Gray on this drive. Sharing the carries with Malcolm Brown. One of the nation's top running back duos. Both those guys over 2,000 yards in their career. Had to be patient with that offensive line trying to find its way over the first half of the season, but that patience paying off the last few weeks. Second down and goal. Right back to the ground with Gray making a cut and another to get inside the 5.
Great job by the Texas offensive line again. Watch the hole that just opens up right behind 66 Cedric Flowers, and then just a nice cut by Jonathan Gray. We mentioned it earlier, really starting to find that explosiveness after the Achilles injury from last year. Good to see him coming back to form.
There's Joe Wickline, offensive line coach for Texas, who's been in the news quite a bit lately. Former Oklahoma State offensive line coach, co-offensive coordinator of this Longhorns team. His unit getting the job done tonight. On 3rd and goal, swoops to throw into the end zone. It's Shipley, dropped in perfectly, but out of bounds, and it's 4th down. Coverage from Larry Stevens, and Shipley a little bit slow to get up. No room at all over on the sidelines in this stadium.
For an injured player.
Good to see him get to his feet.
Boy, when I saw him going to that sideboard there, I thought it was going to be worse than it was. Such tight sidelines here in Stillwater. Jackson Shipley concentrating on that ball, trying to get his feet in bounds. Nearly has it, but there's just no room here on the sidelines, and he goes head first into that wall. Good to see him get up and head to the sideline.
So Shipley to his feet. Guy that played for his dad in high school, and of course the younger brother of Jordan Shipley, all-time leading receiver at Texas. Quietly Jackson 3rd in Texas history in receptions. Longhorns will settle for another field goal attempt. Nick Rose hit from 51 on the last drive. This one from 21. And off of the post. Funny how things work sometimes. Nails one from 51 and then hits the upright from 21. Finally something to feel okay about for Oklahoma State. Kind of a sarcastic cheer from the crowd. Try and give them something to be genuinely excited about after this. Marks College Football is sponsored by Scott Trade. Our passion is to power yours. 16-0 Texas after the missed field goal from Nick Rose, and Oklahoma State's offense back to the field trying to find some kind of success. Only 34 yards so far. 21 of those 34 came on one pass play. Last time they were held scoreless in the opening half back in 2005, which also happens to be the last time they lost 3 games in a row. Begin this drive with a draw to Tyreek Hill. But against that talented Texas defense, not a ton of room. You got to remember, this Oklahoma State team, over the previous 4 years, only Oregon and Baylor have been better as far as points per game. They're not used to this kind of stuff around here. Second and 7. Hill swings out. Garmin slips through for a moment, but then goes down. Everybody got involved that time. And Caleb Blue to get credit for the sack. 3rd down.
Joe, I don't know where you circle. I mean, everybody's getting beat up front. Dax Garmin has 3 Texas defenders right in his lap.
First timeout, Texas. 30-second timeout.
Timeout taken by Charlie Strong, trying to get the ball back to the offense before the break. We're back in 30 seconds. After the sack, Oklahoma State facing a 3rd down and long and in danger of giving the ball back to the Longhorns before the break. 8 in coverage, so tight windows for Garmin, but it won't matter. With a 3-man rush, Hassan Ridgeway easily gets home for the sack.
Joe, I know the quarterback gets all the praise when things go well, and consequently gets the blame when things don't go well, but Dax Garmin stood no chance. I mean, this guy has been running for his life the majority of this year. and you cannot put all of this on his shoulders.
Yeah, so
2 minutes left first half. Jackson Shipley, who a little bit gingerly limped off after going to the sidewall a moment ago, is in there to return this punt. Takes a fair catch at the 46-yard line. While we've got a second, let's check into LA with Rob Stone.
Coming up on the Dell halftime, see how Alabama dropped Mississippi State from the ranks of the unbeaten. FSU trying to remain undefeated. They're at bitter rival Miami, and Melvin Gordon obliterated a rushing record. Joey, we'll see you at the break.
All right, Rob, we'll look forward to it. Dax Garment off to a rough start, but much like this entire season, it's not all on him.
No, he stood no chance. I mean, he got thrown to the ground there hard. They're taking a look at him on the sideline, but you know, you got to block some people up front if you're going to give your skill position players a chance.
Swoops a confident throw on the money to Harris for a first down. 11 yards up to the 30, plenty of time, and one timeout left for Texas. This kid is growing up. Sophomore in his first year as a starter. Back to throw again, sets his feet, goes to Warwick underneath. Warwick drags Richards for 8 yards. Tyrone Swoops, 14 of 19 for a $135 in this first half with a touchdown. Shipley just asked to come out of the game. Continue to monitor that after he went into the sidewall a few plays ago. 2nd and 2, 3 consecutive throws and 3 consecutive completions. This an easy one to Harris for a first down.
Joe, Tyrone Swoops looks like somebody who is completely in control of this football game right now. His decisions are quick. There's no hesitation. He's throwing accurate balls. He's making good decisions in the run game, great decisions in play action. Even when he's not completing the ball, he's throwing it into the fourth row of the stands. This guy is doing everything right tonight, and you said it, he's growing up right before our eyes.
First down from the 22. Another straight drop back and great protection again. Good coverage as well, so he takes off and is angled out of bounds close to the 15. The Dell halftime comes up as soon as this first half finishes. Rob and Joel and Coach Ronstadt. Clock stops at 59 seconds for Swoops in this offense. Guy that took over game 2 at David Ash, suffering a concussion to end his career. He's shown flashes of brilliance. Perhaps at no point has he been this efficient and this consistent within a single game. 2nd and 5, and back to throw again. Underneath for Harris, who fought through the defender but couldn't pull it in. 3rd down. Shipley headed to the locker room a few seconds early.
Joe, and if Shipley is hurt, that's a huge loss for Texas. I mean, this young man is a rock on this Texas football team and has been since the moment he got to campus. I mean, can you imagine the pressure of being Jordan Shipley's younger brother? And all he's done is come in and be one of 3 Texas receivers in the history of football there to catch 50 passes in 3 seasons. Nearly did it as a freshman to make it 4, but came up 6 short with only 44. This guy is a rock for this Texas team.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under further review.
So take a look at this to make sure that John Harris didn't catch it. Inside of a minute in this opening half.
Nope, there you go.
This will be confirmed.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete, 3rd down.
Looks like the refs saw the same replay at the same time that we did.
So 3rd and 5 and 3rd down has been a big part of the story in this first half. Texas 7 for 9 on 3rd down. Oklahoma State yet to convert a 3rd down on offense. Texas outgaining Oklahoma State 262 to 26. Scored on every possession. And look at a 3rd and 5 inside of a minute. Pressure coming. They throw the screen, and it's off the mark. They went for Foreman. The pressure made it a difficult throw, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Tyrone had to adjust the path of that ball and had to move it forward just enough where his receiver wasn't able to run with it. Had he been able to throw that ball in his chest, he had blockers out in front of him because Oklahoma State brought pressure trying to get home with the blitz.
I said Texas has scored on every possession. They've scored on 3 of the 4 because Rose hit the upright with his last field goal.
I think we all just assumed that he was going to make that 21-yarder.
After he hit a 51-yarder earlier in the quarter. This one between those two, it's 34 yards, and it is good. So they've scored on 4 of their 5 possessions. 19-0 Texas inside of a minute in this first half. Back at 30 seconds. The series has been dominated lately by Oklahoma State. They've won 3 of the last 4 against Texas after the Longhorns won 22 of the first 24 meetings. The 2 teams headed in totally different directions coming into this one, and that trends have stayed the same for the first half of action. All Texas. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Button. Here in Stillwater, where the weather has been significantly better than they had predicted earlier in the week. They're calling for temperatures in the 20s with some wintry mix. It's low 40s. Heck, it's 70 up here with a heater on.
Don't make Chris feel bad on the sideline.
Yeah, she's not going to like that. Out of the back of the end zone. OK, State will start at the 25. In the Burger King College Football Playoff rankings, Mississippi State goes down. Florida State
down 14-0 right now, huh?
Ugh.
I will say this, though. Do not compare this year's Florida State team to last year's. Florida State last year was dominant. And everybody's saying that Florida State isn't a great team. In my mind, the sign of a great team is one that wins close games at the end. Don't discount Florida State just because they've come back to win. Great teams win those close games.
So not a dominant team like they were last year.
No, you can't compare them to last year's squad.
See what Oklahoma State does here. With all 3 timeouts, play clock winding down, and they snap it just in time and give it to Hill for a short game. What's got to happen for Oklahoma State to have any kind of chance to move the ball here in the second half?
You got to block somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really simple. We saw it 2 plays in a row on that last drive. Dax Garman had no chance to throw the ball. And when you can't throw the ball, the defense can pin their ears back and come after you in the run game, and you can't run the ball. You got to block people. It's very simple.
Garman into a tight window, fires a strike for Glidden. Biggest play of the day for OK State up the midfield.
And Dax had some time in the pocket there. He sat, he set his feet, he delivered a strike. This young man can play the quarterback position. Great decision, great throw.
Pump towards Shepard, running out of time and taking a sack. Hicks fell on top of him after Brown tripped him up. And Oklahoma State will use its first timeout, giving them time for a heave to the end zone.
First timeout. 30 seconds.
We'll take one more quick break. Back in 30 seconds. Well, Dax Garman was holding his left shoulder on the previous play, and then he goes down on it hard here.
Yeah, on the previous drive, Hassan Ridgeway threw him down pretty hard on his shoulder. He's getting beat up back there in the pocket, Joe.
So for the final play of this first half, you would assume, barring a penalty, he'll load up and chuck it deep. Has Shepard running out there. Shepard leaps, and it's intercepted. Dylan Haynes with a pick. His 3rd of the season, and this first half dominated by Texas comes to a close. They score on 4 of their 5 possessions. Garman continues to be in some pain. Texas outgains Oklahoma State 262-51. It's check in with Chris Button.
Coach, your offense was so efficient and effective this first half. What have you thought of Swoops and the way that he's managed your offense?
Well, he's doing a great job managing the offense. But you know what? Up front, we're blocking well. We're running the football. And then he's making the throws.
Talking about up front, your defense has been so good, too. What do you guys need to do, the key to the second half, to continue to contain this Cowboys offense?
Well, we just need to continue to play the way we're playing. Just be consistent. Just go and make some changes here. But just continue to play hard.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. Joe?
Okay, Chris, his team trying to win its 4th in a row, or its 3rd in a row, after that 2-4 start. Right now we go to Rob Stone in Los Angeles. College football is presented by Cade Jewelers as we welcome you back to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the second half of this Big 12 matchup. First half dominated by Texas, 19-0, trying to become bowl eligible with their 3rd consecutive win. Welcome you back inside. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington. Like the sweater look this week.
Thanks.
Good look, good taste you got there.
Yeah, you too.
Texas in that first half, I mean, pretty much every phase, straight domination.
Yeah, they did it the good old-fashioned way of just running the tough ball and playing great defense. I mean, this defense was absolutely spectacular. And they've really built up to this point. Malcolm Brown started the game by just penetrating into the backfield. And then it was guys like Hassan Ridgeway, Jordan Hicks, coming up with the big plays. Then you go to the other Malcolm Brown, who puts his shoulder down a couple times and ran through the Oklahoma State defenders. And then the change of pace of Jonathan Gray. The Thunder and Lightning has opened up passing lanes for the young quarterback, and Tyrone Swoops has looked like anything but a sophomore today as he's been in total control from the start.
16 of 23 for 148 for Swoops. As we look at our first half stats, brought to you by Geico. 61 yards through the air for Oklahoma State, but -10 on the ground. Half of the yards have come on 2 plays. A 21-yard completion to Brandon Shepard during the first quarter, and then the 28-yard completion that they had right before halftime. Let's check in with Chris Button, who talked to Mike Gundy.
Yeah, Coach said what you guys said. They're just getting dominated up front. He said, yes, Texas has a great defensive line, but our offensive line needs to relax. They need to play their technique. They're just turning into a snowball situation. I asked him about Dax Garman taking those hits. He says he's fine. He will play this second half. He goes, actually like the way he's played. We just need to catch some footballs. As for Texas, Jackson Shipley will not be playing in the second half. Texas officials tell me it's because of a leg injury, Joe.
All right, Chris. Be interesting to see how that develops as next week rolls on. Remember, Texas as TCU finish the season at home on a Thursday night on Fox Sports 1. At this rate, they'll have quite a bit of momentum. Oklahoma State trying to stem some of that, turn this game around in the second half. This is Amani Foreman to bring it back. The true freshman with a flag down gets outside. Foreman, great speed up the midfield, but a flag down back at the 21. That will negate most of this 49-yard return. Only 2 penalties on Texas in that clean first half.
Holding.
You got the keyword.
First down.
So holding on that opening kickoff return. And Tyrone Swoops comes back out, 16 of 23 for 148 and a touchdown, and the best that he's looked all year.
Well, yeah, he looked in total control of everything he was doing. He threw the short passes well. He threw it down the field well. He threw it well in the red zone. He even threw it into the stands when he needed to. Tyrone Swoops did everything right in that first half.
He was really good against Oklahoma, 384 yards of total offense, but I think you said it, the word control, like never before. You're seeing that from him tonight. Good play for the Oklahoma State defense to begin the second half. Jimmy Bean, who left the game with an injury during that first half, drops him for a loss of 5.
And that is exactly what you needed if you're Oklahoma State. Look, you're not out of this ball game. 3 scores and a half is very possible. I mean, heck, we saw Texas do it in the first half. You can do it in the second. Those are the type of plays that you need to come up with, though. You need to start dominating the line of scrimmage. Your defensive front is good enough. Your offensive line needs to play better, but that's where it's going to start for Oklahoma State, is creating plays in the backfield for Texas and then protecting your quarterback and starting a running game.
High formation on 2nd and 16. Malcolm Brown. Penetration from that defense, had the play stopped before it could get started. Got maybe a yard. Jordan Stearns plugging the hole, 3rd and long.
Well, yeah, James Castleman, Ofa Hautau plugging up the middle right there, and you said it, Jordan Stearns came flying up from his safety position. This guy does a little bit of everything for this Oklahoma State defense. That time came up and made the stop right in the hole.
And not just a chance to force a quick punt, but a chance to get great field position early on in this second half of this Big 12 matchup, with a winner reaching bowl eligibility. 3rd and 15 for the Longhorns. Swoops, throws the out for Harris. Peterson's there to greet him. He's well short of the first down. OK State's defense with its best possession of the game.
All right, there you go. You established a little bit of presence on the defensive line. You got the ball back, theoretically, for your offense, assuming everything goes well on this punt here. Now it's time to establish some presence on the offensive line. That is the key for Oklahoma State right now. You have to get better at the line of scrimmage.
Tyreek Hill back to return this punt from Michael Davidson, who came in last week after William Russ shanked one. Charlie Strong had reopened that job, and Davidson winning it with Russ's struggles. Davidson was solid last week in his first game with full-time punting duty in his career. This one not very good. And Oklahoma State will have the ball in Texas territory to open up their first drive of the second half. It's 19-0 Texas, but Oklahoma State with a touch of momentum early on in this second half in Stillwater. Fox College Football is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Here's to a one-of-a-kind season. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind. By Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. And by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. Back in Stillwater, Oklahoma State with its best starting field position of this game, right at midfield to begin the second half after forcing a 3-and-out on Texas's first possession of this half. An offense that managed only 51 yards in the first half. Goes to work with play action, and Garmin well protected. Confident throw, sails Washington, but at least set his feet and stepped into it.
Well, yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there between Dax Garmin and James Washington. James ran more of a curl route, came onto the inside. Dax Garmin threw the ball to a place where he looked like he was going to come right back down the stem of his route. That's what happens when you got a young receiver and an inexperienced quarterback.
Roland off the right side, and a hole opens up for him to get a solid gain. Keeps the feet churning. Gets just short of 5 yards, and Roland playing his first game since the death of his mother, Carolyn. As Chris reported before the game, passed away after a long battle with cancer a few weeks ago, and went back home to be with his family, missing the Kansas State game. They had a bye last week, and this senior night, his first game back. 3rd down and 5 with the ball at the 45. In motion, Hill out. Garmin looks the other way and throws nowhere close to Washington.
Pass is incomplete.
They bring the punt team out. There's a missed opportunity for Oklahoma State.
Well, Joe, Dax Garmin just does not look comfortable back there in the pocket. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, nobody would. I mean, he's been under pressure all night. He's been under pressure the majority of this season. And it's tough for a young, inexperienced player, a guy who really hasn't played much since back in his junior year in high school, to come in and feel comfortable in a pocket.
Quandre Diggs goes back there to return this with Shipley hurt. Now ball bounces into the end zone, it looked like. Let's see. They're going to spot that ball down to the 3. Nope. Now the official overrules and says it was a touchback. And in college, it's all about where the ball is, and across the plane, making it a touchback. Texas offense back out of the field. Jonathan Gray with his second consecutive big game 19-0 Horns. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save 15% or more on car insurance. The fireworks going off. OK State celebrating its branding success campaign. They've raised more than $1 billion for the university. Celebrated it with the fireworks and by literally locking us in our press box at halftime. Fireworks and fire hazard maybe. First down from the 20 for the Longhorns, and Swoops has Harris for a first down. Seven catches for John Harris, putting together one of the best seasons for a receiver in Texas history. 57 catches. With his 87 yards tonight, he's close to 200 yards within the second best single season statistically ever at Texas. From doing nothing over his first 3 seasons. There's Gray with a flag down in the backfield. Jordan Stearns makes another tackle from his safety spot.
Holding offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
But the Lows never stop improving. Game break, Greg Wolf.
Joey, back to you.
All right, Greg, trying to avenge a heartbreaking miracle loss last year at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Here's a draw play that's shut down. Ofa Hautau gets in there and is going to get called for the face mask to erase the whole thing. It would appear.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 98, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think he got him.
Pretty good hold there.
It's the first one we've actually called correctly, too.
Yeah. This Texas offense continues to work the ball on the ground. That's been the MO really all season, but over the last few games, they've really gotten it going behind that improving offensive line. It certainly helps having Swoops turning into a threat in the passing game. That one's tipped and incomplete. Second down. Oklahoma State's defense, which forced a 3-and-out in the first possession of the second half for Texas, trying to get the ball back to the offense once again. Second down and 10. It's Gray for a short gain. And it'll be 3rd and long, another chance for the Cowboys D to get off of the field.
Well, Joe, we saw Jimmy Bean earlier get in and create a little havoc on Texas's first drive in the second half. That time, Emmanuel Ogbah getting into the backfield, forcing Jonathan Gray to make a cut a little bit quicker than he wanted to. But what he's done is set up a 3rd and long situation. In the first half, Texas was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. It seemed like on every possession, and they were converting them at will. This time, 3rd and 9. Makes things a lot more difficult, especially for a young quarterback on the road.
Started 6 for 6 on 3rd down, 1 for 5 since. 3rd and 8. Play clock down to 3 and a timeout taken by Swoops.
First charge timeout, Texas.
So the Longhorns will have a 3rd down play on the other side of this break. Well, Texas dominated this game 19-0, and once again getting it done on the ground with the combination of Jonathan Gray and Malcolm Brown, but they've had perfect balance. Swoops getting it done through the air, 18 of 26 for 172, and then the defense doing its thing. 3rd time this year they've shut out an opponent in the first half. 3rd down and 8 for the Longhorns out of that timeout. Against a 4-man rush. Swoops, good feel in the pocket, lobs for Foreman and a first down. Amani Foreman, only his 5th career catch, and the true freshman with a pickup at 29.
And Joe, what a great job of recognizing man coverage by Tyrone Swoops. He slides away from pressure, sees that he's got his speedster out there, man on man, no help. Put it right out by the sideline, let him run underneath it. Great recognition, great control by Tyrone Swoop today. He is running the show.
Now over 200 yards on the day. Convert it another 3rd down. 1st down from the 30. And a toss play into the wide side for Gray. He's got a yard. So Tyrone Swoops now playing his most efficient game. Army All-American out of Whitewright, Texas. One of the nation's top quarterback recruits. At 5,300 yards rushing, 73 rushing touchdowns in his career as a high schooler. Threw for 3,800, another 41 touchdowns. On a bad team, though. His senior year, they were 1-9 in a run-oriented offense. Right tackle Cameron Hughes going to get called here.
Full start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
And Joe, let's not forget that Tyrone Swoops was a bit of an afterthought coming into fall camp, as we see Jackson Shipley there on the sideline. You know, Tyrone had a rough spring game. You know, people had written him off. It was David Ash. You know, maybe even moving on to Gerard Hurd. But when Ash went down after week 1, it was Swoops' show, and he has gotten better and better every single week. Credit that young man for sticking with it.
Gray gets pulled down by James Castleman. And it'll be 3rd down again. How about the shiny Longhorn logo? You like it? It's new tonight. Subtle.
It's huge. It's a massive change.
As big as you're going to see. These classic uniforms.
There's certain uniforms you can't touch or you can't do much with. Penn State, right? Texas, the Michigan helmets.
You would have said Notre Dame, but they've gone off the rails. Those uniforms sometimes. Swoop scrambling, tucks it, and turns the corner for several yards, but still well short. Going to be 4th down. You remember, you go back to fall camp, Charlie Strong removed the Longhorn logo from the helmets. Had to earn them back. He kept them from making the Hook'em Horns sign with her hand. Roped off the Longhorns logo in the locker room. And now here we are in mid-November with the team having won back-to-back games for the first time, and you get some shiny Longhorn logos. 44-yard attempt for Nick Rose, who's 2 for 3 today. Drills that one. They get 3 for 4 and a 22-0 Texas lead. Well, OK State struggles continuing, trying to snap a 3-game skid. They'll have to wake up in a hurry. That skid will roll to 4. Fox College Football is presented by K Jewelers. And Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. 22-0 Texas on a cool night. Even say cold, huh, Joey? You threw the gloves on.
You're from Michigan. This isn't cold, right?
Not to me. You were from Michigan for a while.
You might have lived there for a minute or two.
Hill will bring this one out. Tyreek Hill making a move into space. Stumbled momentarily and allows the defense to catch up to him. Let's check in with Chris Budd.
Well, Joe, I've been watching this Cowboys offensive line on the sidelines, and you can just tell by their facial expressions and the lack of communication that they seem overwhelmed. The coaches have been trying to motivate them, tell them there's still time to get back in this. But between the group as a whole, not a lot of communication. I would also like to say that it is cold out here.
Yeah, and Joey, she really shouldn't have those gloves on, should he? We got a heater up here.
We do not. We do not have a heater. Don't make her feel bad.
Number 25, they start with a bubble to Glidden. Michael Thompson there to greet him. Hold him up long enough for Diggs. Figured he could stick in.
Joe, I think Michael Thompson's story really is pretty indicative of a lot of guys, really this Texas football team right now. A guy who's played some safety, played some corner, played a little bit of nickel. You know, received a lot of criticism over the last couple years. but this year has really found his niche. You know, coaches believed in him. He committed to the program, and he's playing some fantastic football. A very versatile player who's turned into a really tough, aggressive tackler for this Texas defense.
Charlie Strong says he's improved because he got contact lenses. You can see everything now. Nowhere for Hill to go. Shut down by Jordan Hicks. Leading tackler for this Texas team, who stayed healthy for the first time in 3 years. So how about this? Oklahoma State had those 2 big pass plays in the first half. The other 23 plays combined for 10 yards.
I'm speechless.
Yep.
What do you say to that?
Especially,
I mean, it is total domination.
And it's a program that is known for its offense. 3rd in the country over the previous 4 years in points per game. Have not converted a 3rd down yet. They won't here either. Got the Seals on the screen, and Texas having a lot of fun flying around on defense right now. Michael Thompson again led the way. The punt team comes out. Quandre Diggs back there to return it, with Jackson Shipley being done for the night. The left leg injury is reported by Chris Button. Good punt from Kip Smith. Hang time leads to the fair catch. Wednesday, Fox College Hoops are back on Fox Sports 1. Great early season matchup. Creighton looking to upset number 19 Oklahoma. Coverage beginning at 8 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Oh, that basketball season's here.
It is?
Yeah. It's Gallagher-Iba Arena. Some of the steepest seats you'll ever find. The seating bowl is almost straight down inside there. Heck of a place to watch a game.
I think it's pretty cool how the basketball arena sits flush with the edge of the football stadium. That's a cool setup here.
First down from the 39. Here comes Malcolm Brown. Jordan Stearns there to greet him. 2 guys from Cibolo Steel. Stearns was there. There's 2 classes behind Malcolm Brown. Powerhouse program in Texas. Ryan Simmons, middle linebacker for this OK State team, was in the same grade as Malcolm Brown. They won a state championship together.
Ryan Simmons had himself a decent state championship game as well.
He was the MVP.
That's why I said it was decent.
Yeah, not too bad. Brown again. Stearns again. Simmons was there to help clean it up. They beat in that game, by the way, J.W. Walsh. He was a losing quarterback in that contest. Simmons and Brown both leading the way for that Steel championship win. You were ready
I was
to go
about to circle. I was about to circle the mascot. The combination of like the Black Knight and the Stormtrooper. I mean, really? Look at this guy.
Photobomb it too.
It's the Star Wars. It's the Star Wars night.
3rd down and 8. Swoops will dump it off. Brown getting a block and a first down to midfield. Block out there from Cameron Hughes to spring Brown. Texas has converted another 3rd down.
And that time it's a 3rd and long. You know, in the first half it was 3rd and 2 and 3. This time it's 3rd and 9. And there's stormtroopers all over the place.
Is that what that is?
I think so, right?
Oh, man, I don't know.
It's like the cowboy stormtrooper.
Yeah.
He's got a little mustache going.
Clock winds down near 3.5 in this 3rd quarter. Run that play clock, and Swoops calls a timeout. They broke the huddle with about 5 seconds to snap it. Had no choice. Take a break. Back in 30 seconds. All Longhorns late in this 3rd quarter. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Button, and Pistol Pete here in Stillwater. And for another 3rd down conversion for Texas. A first down from the OK State 48. Swoops fakes to Brown, sets up and gets sacked back at the 44. There's Josh Furman, the Michigan transfer that got to him. First and only season at Oklahoma State.
And Joe, how about Josh Furman? You'll see him coming off the top edge here, but like you said, transfer from Michigan. He's kind of a tweener, you know, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's not a true DB. He's not quite big enough to be a hard-hitting linebacker in the Big Ten, but here in the Big 12, it's the perfect place for him because you have so many spread offenses. Teams that are going to spread you sideline to sideline, that you need somebody at that second level, at that linebacker position, who has the ability to stop the run. He's big enough to do that, but has the speed to get out and cover guys out on the outside.
Swoops under siege again. And got back to the line of scrimmage. Hautau stopped him, 3rd and long. Still, it's a 3-score game. Oklahoma State's defense doing all it can to keep them in it.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, you'd say this ball game is not over. But the fact is, Oklahoma State has done nothing on offense to give you the impression that they can move the ball down the field and score. They're going to need some sort of big play, maybe a defensive touchdown to get this thing rolling.
Oklahoma State showed corner blitz and then backed off. There's a flag down as Swoops gets pulled down at midfield by Furman.
Joe, I wouldn't be surprised if they got into the neutral zone there while they were showing the blitz.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 71 was lined up in the backfield. The penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
So they forced another punt. After not forcing a single one in the first half, they forced 2 in the second.
Right here, he's set a little bit too far back. And what they've also forced is me to stop trying to call penalties in this game. I'm over 3. I'm done. I'm done.
Right.
I saw the corner jump in there near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Davidson barely got it off. Line drive to Hill. Let's bounce down to the 1. Bryson Eccles, great play on special teams to save it at the 1. Then down by Peter Jenkins, a 49-yard punt from Davidson down to the 1-yard line.
Joe, when it rains, it pours. I mean, absolutely nothing going right for Oklahoma State today, and everything going Texas's way. What a great hustle play by Eccles to get down there and save it from going into the end zone.
Yard line. 1st and 10.
Great awareness, and then a great play by the rest of the punt team to get down and cover it.
We said it at halftime, all 3 phases clicking for Texas. An offense that has 56 yards on 26 plays starts at its own 2. Jeremy Seaton, the fullback, lines up in front of Desmond Rowland, who's got a big hole. And a 1st down across the 15-yard line. They had -7 rushing yards before that play, which goes for 15.
Look at the hole. It's going to open up right here in front of you. Wow. Finally, the Oklahoma State offensive line clearing away for these running backs. Nice job at the point of attack of giving the running backs a little bit of room to get through that line of scrimmage.
Teddy Johnson with a big block. High snap pulled down by Garment. Sets his feet and takes a shot for Shepard. Just down in front of him with a coverage from Duke Thomas.
It's really a nice throw. It's a nice throw by Dax Garman. You know, some battling going on there for position at the end. It seems like that's a ball that's caught when things are going your way.
You're hitting those kind of plays in his first couple of starts. Teams have started to play off. Rowland is hit in the backfield and dropped. This time, Paul Boyette, sophomore from Humboldt, Texas, gets a tackle for loss, 3rd and 12.
Joe, watch the immediate penetration coming right through the middle here. 93 Paul Boyette getting into the backfield. Desmond Rowland stood no chance there.
Half minute left in this 3rd quarter. We're talking about the shots that Garmin was hitting in his first couple of starts. They were averaging about 5 explosive pass plays per game early on. Since then, about 1. And a couple tonight, but that's all. Pressured from his backside, got rid of it, incomplete. Thomas again covering Shepard. 4th down. First 5 games had 26 pass plays of 20 or better, just 7 over the last 5. His teams have started to recognize that, play off, make them dink and dunk, where they're not really very efficient.
Well, what they've done by playing off on the wide receivers is they've forced Dax Garmin to take a drop, to sit in the pocket. And with the O-line that's not protecting him and giving him the time to throw those balls, and that's the way you stop it.
Well, that punt, sending Diggs back to the 25. Blocking the back will bring it back inside the 20. A 59-yard punt for Kip Smith. Charlie Strong doesn't like it. Thought that the hat was in front and that it shouldn't be a block in the back.
Well, Joe, I don't know that.
There is no foul.
I was going to say, he
block
didn't.
in the back. This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
I don't think he made contact with the blocker there. I think that was the right call in picking up that flag.
So we go into the 4th. Texas 15 minutes from a shutout. 22-0 Longhorns. Back after this. Fox College football is presented by Cade Jewelers. 4th quarter coming up in Stillwater. During the break, how about this? This kick is for $10,000. Got it.
It's the most excited player, a guy in Stillwater right now.
Yeah. Second time somebody's hit a kick for money tonight. Apparently, somebody hit one for $1,000 earlier. Texas with the ball at the 26. Gray hit in the backfield. James Castleman drops him for a loss. 2nd down. Signaling in the plays. Fox's Aaron Andrews is on there. Upper right corner.
Don't you know that play?
No, do you?
That's the Tiger Durant Andrews left.
Yeah.
Out of the Sam Ponder formation.
2nd down, 11. And they run the draw to Gray, who's got space to get to the 30 on a pickup of 6. Gray 16 carries, 81 yards. He's gotten the bulk of the load tonight. Malcolm Brown 11 for 28. These two guys have shared the role really their entire careers. Only time that one of them has really stepped into a featured role has been when the other has been injured. 3rd down and 6. Swoops feeling pressure and slipping away from Jimmy Bean. And another defender as well, but then bumped out of bounds by Simmons. 4th down, and the punt team comes out. Credit to this OK State defense for their performance in this 2nd half.
Well, absolutely. Jimmy Bean started it there, and once he got out of his tackle, it was Josh Furman using his speed that we talked about a moment ago, that hybrid type player in the middle of the defense coming over and forcing Tyrone Swoops to the sideline. Hey, this team has not given up. I mean, credit Oklahoma State, credit their defense for still fighting to the end here.
See if they bring it again. They almost got the Davidson the last time. This time they set up a return on a line drive punt that Tyreek Hill takes, makes a man miss, and gets up to the 40. An exciting player for Oklahoma State, trying to bust a big play. Offense back to the field, down 3 touchdowns after this.
You shine.
Fox College football is sponsored by Cade Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. By Lowe's. Lowe's never stop improving. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Pretty comfy up here in the booth tonight. How is it down in the field, Chris Budd?
Well, it is a little bit chilly, but you know, teams have different ways of dealing with the cold. You can either find a way to stay warm or maybe just brave it and try and get used to it. Texas sidelines, 10 heaters spread out along. Oklahoma State, 0. They're just going to try and get used to it, and they have before. Last year, Bedlam, single digits. Wind chill, -3.
Wow. There's Jimmy battling it. No gloves on. There's Turtle.
Is that Turtle?
There's Tim. He's got the gloves on. There's Tyreek Hill. They swing it to him out of the backfield, and he burrows his way for 4.
You know what I used to do for the heat when it was cold?
What?
I used to take those hot pads and stick them to the back of my shoulder pads and the inside of my thigh pads. Just stick them all over your body.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
What temperature warranted that?
I would say Green Bay, 3rd week of December, 8 p.m. Sunday night kickoff.
Yeah, that would do it. You saw Eddie. What do we got there? That there's some of the hot packs on his feet, taped to his feet. They're down in 6. Dax Garmin. Pressure coming. Garmin gets rid of it for a first down to Blake Jarwin. Only his 3rd catch of the season. Michael Thompson makes the tackle as they convert. We're talking about the cold. I mean, it's like it's high 30s. It's not like it's like 10 degrees out here, right? It's not too bad. It's not Sunday at Lambeau like you're talking about.
It is Oklahoma, though, right?
Right.
You know, this is a place that gets pretty warm. Texas, Austin is generally a pretty warm place, so these guys they're not used to it.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
Garmin, good little burst there to get 4 or 5 into the arms of DeMarco Cobb. 2nd down. 47 degrees in Austin right now. Our producer, Eric Billickmeyer, tells us. Cobbs comes off a little bit limp there after that stop. 2nd and 5 for Oklahoma State. Garmin looking short side. Washington has it. Good timing route working against Diggs. And another OK State first down.
Well, Joe, that's the same pass that he threw earlier where Washington curled all the way on the inside like he was running a true curl route, and Garmin threw it right down his stem and they missed. This time you see Washington come right down the stem of his route. Garmin puts it on his outside shoulder. Good job of adjusting from a mistake early in the game and converting a first down.
Deepest penetration into Texas territory tonight. From the 36, they swing it out to Hill. Running away from Edmonds. Getting out of bounds after a short gain. Garmin's numbers as far as percentage, not bad tonight. He's above 50%. But total yardage for Oklahoma State, less than 100 yards.
Part of it is just a lack of opportunities. I mean, when you don't convert on 3rd down, you don't move the chains, you don't keep the ball, and you give it back to Texas, who's run the ball so effectively tonight, and they just run the clock. You don't have enough opportunities.
Garmin rolls right into a blitz and comes underneath for Jeremy Seaton, only his 5th catch. Yeah, to your point, Texas has run 65 plays. That was the 37th for Oklahoma State.
You have no chance to build momentum. You know, you have no chance to learn from the mistakes that you made early in the game and correct them. You know, we saw that 2 plays ago with the ball out to Washington. Those are the things that you should be correcting 2nd and 3rd quarter, as opposed to having to wait here until the fourth quarter to have that chance.
1 for 9 on 3rd down tonight. Here's 3rd and 6. They run it against a light box to Childs and get a few. This is 4-down territory without a doubt. They're now 9 for their last 53 on 3rd down. This will be 4th down and 3. From the 29, trying to keep their hopes alive for a comeback. They'll throw and have an open man, 1st and goal. Blake Jarwin has doubled his season total for receptions on this drive. This one goes for 21.
Joe, and a great job by Dax Garman there, getting outside the pocket. He's running a corner route, and instead of throwing him to the sideline into the defenders, he stopped him right in the open. Good job by Garman seeing the coverage and throwing the ball where it needed to be.
Washington on the sweep. Block from Childs. Runs through Haynes. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. The Cowboys not dead yet, within 2 touchdowns with 9+.
Joe, credit Oklahoma State. These young players have not given up. I never thought I'd be, with the way the first half started, I never thought we'd have a 14-point game here in the fourth quarter. This ball game is not over. And it says a lot about the coaching staff and the character of these guys for Oklahoma State.
Extra point is good. James Washington with a 4th touchdown of his freshman season. Oklahoma State was his only Division I offer coming out of tiny Stamford, Texas. After he committed, TCU and Texas both came on strong late, but stuck with his commitment to Oklahoma State, having a big freshman season for Mike Gundy's team. Fox College football is presented by K Jewelers, and Bullitt gets to run for the first time tonight. 22-7 now. So Oklahoma State gets in the end zone. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Button back here in Stillwater. James Washington with a touchdown run to cap off that drive. That's juggled and dropped, then picked up. And Texas will be backed into its own end. Oklahoma State with the momentum right now. And still 8:55 left to play.
Joe, I never thought I'd be saying this, but Texas needs a first down right now. With the way they played so well in the first half, they need to convert a first down right now to get this momentum back.
Here's our Domino's stat tracker midway through this fourth quarter. Swoops having a really efficient game, 20 of 28 for 212. Gray with another good game on the ground. John Harris picking up right where he left off last week, 7 for 87. But with 8:55 left, Oklahoma State has the momentum after the touchdown and the good play on special teams. And now a flag comes in. And that will back Texas inside its own 5.
Offense, number 76. 5-yard correction, half the distance to the goal. It's first down.
Got to be careful.
Well, Joe, here's one of these moments that happen in the development of every young quarterback. Tyrone Swoops is backed up in his own end zone. He's on the road. They played extremely well all day. They need to move the chains one time. Convert 1 third down, and you can take this crowd out of it. You can take the momentum away, but you got to be smart right here and make a play when it counts.
Handed off to Brown. Barely back to the line of scrimmage. Seth Jacobs hit him first. And it's second down. And those that have stuck around here at Boone Pickens Stadium making noise. Eight and a half left. 263 yards for Texas in the first half. Only 74 in the second half. 2nd and 13. Brown again, cutting against the grain. Good run up to the 13. And third down coming up.
Here it is, Joe. This is what separates the good quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks, is making these plays on the road under pressure. The way that Tyrone Swoops has played tonight, this seems like it'll be right in his wheelhouse, but this is his moment.
Third and 6. 3-man rush. Swoops throws a dart for a first down. First catch of the game for Marcus Johnson, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Absolutely textbook by Tyrone Swoops. Watch him hit his back foot, slide up into the opening in the pocket, and there was no doubt about that ball.
hits Marcus Johnson right in the shoulder pad. You could not have put it in a better place.
Took the life out of this crowd, which was coming alive. OK State still all 3 timeouts. Down 2 touchdowns, 7 minutes left. It's Brown for a short gain. Ripping at that ball, trying to pull it out. By the way, Oklahoma State has not recovered a fumble this season.
Well, that's been a huge, huge issue for Oklahoma State. Not just the struggles on offense, but over the last 5 years, there have not been many teams better in all of college football at creating turnovers and not giving them away. This year, for the first time in 5 years, they're actually in the red. They're negative in terms of giving the ball over more than they're taking it away.
Second down. They're trusting the sophomore Swoops, who's on the roll and throwing for Harris, who goes up and makes a play. The freshman Flowers had a chance with that ball hanging up there, but unable to make a play. Instead, John Harris for a first down.
Well, Joe, that's just trust in your wide receiver. 6'2" John Harris. Tyrone Swoops, trust that he's going to go up and make a play high on the ball. You know, that's trust that Coach Sean Watson told us that they developed in the scout team. You know, you don't think of that very often. Tyrone Swoops and John Harris were on the scout team together last year, and they built that chemistry. They built that trust, and he has been Tyrone Swoops' #1 target ever since he got into the ball game this season.
They fake to Johnson, flip it outside to Brown. Furman is all over it. He loses about 7. Second down and 17.
Well, Oklahoma State isn't giving up. Try to flip it to Mountain Brown out there, get outside, and again, Josh Furman using his speed to get into the backfield and make a tackle.
Clock becoming a factor. Oklahoma State needs 2 touchdowns. They've got all 3 timeouts, but just 5:20 left. Up the 49, 2nd and 17. They roll Swoops again. On the move has Harris once more. Getting back the yardage lost on that first down play. These 2 guys been dynamite for Texas this year. Swoops at his best when he's throwing to John Harris.
And you've said it a couple times today. Interesting. You know, John Harris was nowhere to be found for 3 years. You know, a guy who people thought really didn't live up to his potential. They tried him at tight end a little bit. This year, the new coaching staff came in. He committed to doing things the right way, lost 15 pounds, and has become more than just a dependable wide receiver.
Here's Foreman running by the defense for the touchdown. Amani Foreman with his first career score, a backbreaker from 45.
Joe, that's what all the little plays early in the ball game add up to. That runoff tackle for 5, the quick hitch to the outside, the curl route for 12, all bring the defense up close to the line of scrimmage and allow you to do this. Great job of recognizing an aggressive defense, trying to stop you, taking advantage of what they're giving you, and throwing a perfect ball down the field.
That was blocked by James Castleman. Second PAT gone awry today for Texas. Tyrone Swoops goes over 300 yards on the day. An 8-play, 91-yard drive to take the momentum back and put up 431 from a 3rd consecutive win.
So right.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Dawn of the Planet of the Apes on Digital HD today. Final minutes in Stillwater. Texas with a huge drive to all but put this game away. Go 91 yards on 8 plays, convert a couple of 3rd downs. Swoops perfect on the drive, 75% through the air on the day for more than 300 yards.
Well, we said it when the drive started. This is one of those drives that every young quarterback needs on the road late in the ball game to put it away, and boy, did he come up big.
Rose sends it away to Hill. Tyreek Hill has it open up. Out to the 34. Quandre Diggs with the tackle. How about the Fox Sports 1 plays of the game? It's that entire drive. How about this big third down and long conversion? Johnson getting his first catch of the game. And John Harris goes up and makes a play against Flowers. And a bomb for the touchdown. Foreman's first in his career. That was the one brought to you by Fox Sports Live. Every score, every highlight, every night. Only on Fox Sports 1. Draw play on first down. Here's Hill. Accelerating across the 40. So Texas, barring a major breakdown in the final minutes here, is going to win its third in a row. And Oklahoma State would have dropped its fourth straight. And take out that last touchdown drive. This offense really had absolutely nothing going tonight. A program that is used to seeing prolific offenses over the last couple of years. Garmin extends the play. Throws one downfield for Jarman, who couldn't hang on. Dylan Haynes broke it up. And it'll be third down and short. Moving forward for Oklahoma State, because you know fans are wondering what they're looking at here in the short-term future. What do you see?
I wouldn't put too much stock in what's happening here at the end of the season. I mean, let's be honest. J.W. Walsh is most likely going to be coming back next year. And look, Dax Garman has done a very nice job of doing the best that he could. But J.W. Walsh's ability to run the football takes away or minimizes the effect of the poor blocking up front. It keeps the defense honest. And because Dax Garman hasn't been able to run the ball like J.W. Walsh, and frankly, not many quarterbacks can, but because he hasn't been able to do that, defenses have been able to key in on this offensive line, which hasn't been able to protect him. And so I think J.W. Walsh coming back into this lineup really completely changes the complexion of this, Oklahoma State offense.
That's, something that we've not talked much about is how young this team really is. One of the youngest teams in the country. They didn't bring back a single all-conference player from last year's 10-3 team. They only brought back 10 starters total. 32 freshmen and sophomores on the season opening depth chart. That was the most in the country. But 20 players make their first career start this season. That's the third most in the country. Boy, it sure doesn't get any easier next week to try and get that 6th win to get a bowl game at Baylor. And they'll finish up with a Bedlam game in Norman. Here's Shepard with a speed out for first down, defended by Thomas.
Well, Joe, you made the point about freshmen and sophomores. I mean, think about it. James Washington, Ramon Richards at corner, Emmanuel Ogba. You've got high impact freshmen and sophomores all over this team, not to mention the juniors that are going to be coming back as well. So I think the future is bright for Oklahoma State. It's unfortunate that things have turned out the way they have at the end of the season.
Garman under pressure. Good patience in the pocket. Now a flag down. He'll throw across his body to Shepard, but it's probably coming back.
Personal foul. 71. Repeat first down.
Face mask on Brad Lundblade, freshman offensive lineman. And that'll move him back 15. We set it off at the top. Two teams headed in opposite directions coming into this game, and they've continued down those paths. 28-7 advantage for Texas late in this one. What a great job to stand in by Garman and then complete it downfield to Cameron Doolittle. He got popped as he let it go and then picked up 34 with a completion.
Well, that's twice now that we've seen Dax Garman throw the ball back across his body into the middle of the field, and twice he's thrown strikes. Normally you tell a quarterback you don't want to do that, but when you're down by 3 scores in the 4th quarter, you got to take a few chances, and he's come up big. Well done.
Pressure on first down. He's picked up, giving him time. And a throw in for Doolittle again, incomplete. And second down. Horns bringing it again. Garmin throwing too tall for Doolittle. Third down now. This Texas defense trying to buckle down, and Garmin taking another shot. Mike Gundy telling us he's been hit more than any quarterback in the Big 12. Statistically, he certainly has as far as sacks. Mike's oldest son is 13. He's a quarterback that comes in and watches film a lot in the offices, and he said to Mike the other day, "Dad, Dak sure is getting hit a lot."
And you know what Coach Gundy said to that? Yeah, but he keeps getting up. That's a tough young man right there, and he's done a very admirable job.
Motion Hill out of the backfield for 3rd and 10. Here comes a 5-man rush. It gets to Garmin with the ball coming out. It's kicked around and picked up by Haynes, who's tripped up at the 14. Jarred out of there by Malcolm Brown, who started this day with a tackle for a loss and finishes it by forcing a fumble.
Well, Texas's defensive line has dominated this game, like you said, from the opening snap. It's fitting that they would end it that way with Malcolm Brown with a big sack fumble.
Another tough night for Dax Garmin, whose numbers are not terrible. 17 of 28 for 158, a touchdown and an interception that came on a Hail Mary desperation throw to finish the first half. So much around him working against him. The offensive line struggles to protect him, and the offensive line struggles to get him some balance with the lack of a running game. Been able to open anything up. Furman gets stiff-armed by Deontay Foreman. His brother Amani Foreman just caught his first touchdown pass. Now Deontay running hard. Let's take a look at the Scottrade game summary. We wind down to a minute and a half in this Big 12 matchup with Texas gaining bowl eligibility. Credit to that OK State.
Timeout, Oklahoma State. Please reset the clock to 1:33.
Timeout taken by OK State.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
So credit to OK State's defense for allowing them to stay in the game in the second half. But really, you get rid of that small chunk of this game where Oklahoma State gained some momentum. This game was totally dominated by Texas.
Well, yeah, and you see the 304 yards passing. There were quite a few of them that came on that last drive. A very balanced day until that last drive when Swoops threw the big 3rd down conversion coming out of his own end zone. Again, another one to John Harris on the sideline. And then the big touchdown. Great balance from Texas running the football and throwing it today.
41 runs, 32 passes. Charlie Strong's team, just like last week, coming up with a defensive stop, really about nothing more than pride in the final minutes. Kevin White of West Virginia caught a pass inside the 5-yard line to finish last week's game. And they slammed him down just shy of the goal line to keep him out of the end zone, and what wouldn't have mattered other than for the pride of that defense. They force a fumble to keep Oklahoma State from getting any closer. In the closing minutes of this one.
Second charge timeout, Oklahoma State, 30 seconds.
OK State uses its second timeout, and will take one as well. Joe Davis, Joey Harrington, Chris Budden back here in Stillwater, along with our producer Eric Billigmeyer, director Jeremy Green, Brian Biederman, our associate director, broadcast associate Ben Toder, Chris Adams-Wall on computer stats, Paul Davis, our spotter, Barry Allen, our talent stats, everybody else on our crew here in Stillwater. Swoops under pressure, got rid of it with Wren chasing him. And 4th down coming up. With
There
Mike
is no
Gundy.
foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the pocket. It's 4th down.
Mike Gundy using a couple of timeouts, trying to get the ball back to the offense here with a minute 22 down 3 scores, but trying to send a message to his team.
Well, also, frankly, probably just trying to get some practice time in.
Yeah.
You know, he needs snap. We mentioned it earlier. This is a young team, and when we talked to Coach Gundy yesterday, he said part of the reason that they want to get to a bowl game is you get extra practices. You know, this is a young team that needs to continue to get experience under their belt.
Come after this punt. Davidson sends a high one away, and Hill takes fair catch at the 50. Oh, Fox tomorrow. Thanksgiving comes early to Sunday Fun Days. So go ahead and pig out with all new episodes of TV's best comedies, guaranteed to leave you hungry for more. Sunday Fun Day starts tomorrow, 8/7 Central, only on Fox. Don't imagine tomorrow will be too fun for Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State. They do practice on Sundays and then have Mondays off.
You said Sunday Fun Day, Sunday Run Day. That's what it used to be
there
after.
you go.
That's what we always used to call it. Get out and run the soreness off.
Plenty of it for Dax Garman. He looks at a 4-man rush and puts one into a tight window, dropped by Washington. Kind of a snapshot what Garman's dealing with this year. Another big game for Vance Bedford's defense. The former Oklahoma State defensive coordinator. He was the first DC under Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy's time as a head coach here, and was fired after 2 seasons. But Bedford said this week that Gundy did the right thing, and it enabled Bedford to grow. Best thing that ever happened to him, he said, in the course of his coaching career. And that's not a knock on Oklahoma State. He meant personally, just with his development as a man and as a coach. And it sure was refreshing talking to him about that yesterday.
Well, yeah, he said you use every experience to grow, become a better person. He's become a better coach and a better husband, he said. And I love that he uses that experience to coach his players. When you can tell your players that it's not just about what happens on the field, it's not just about winning and losing or putting up stats, it's about being a good person, about having some character, about doing things the right way, about learning from what seemed like negative experiences. That's the type of coach that you want.
Garman sacked by Shiro Davis. How about this, Joey? In the pass-happy Big 12, Texas has now gone 4 consecutive games. Well, I was going to say without giving up a passing touchdown. It was considered a passing touchdown on the sweep play to Washington for Oklahoma State's lone touchdown because it was tossed ahead. Technically, it's a touchdown, but really Charlie Strong's team has kept West Virginia a passing offense, Texas Tech a passing offense, Oklahoma State a passing offense out of the end zone through the air.
Says a lot about what Coach Charlie Strong has done here at Texas in a short amount of time.
And his team is bowl eligible after a 2-4 start to the season. They've won 4 of 5. We're back from Stillwater with more post-game coverage after these messages.
15.
Texas dominates Oklahoma State 28-7. They gain bowl eligibility now 6-5. Moments ago, Chris Budden visited with Coach Strong.
Coach, congratulations on the win. You guys started out this season 2-4. You've now gone on to win 4 out of your last 5. When you look at this second half of the season, what's changed?
Well, I just think that once we just developed an identity of who we were. You know, in the beginning, we didn't know exactly who we were. You know, guys were playing hard. And then once the quarterback came on, even though he was inconsistent sometimes, defensively we played better, but we just came together as a total team.
You guys are now bowl eligible. When you look at that point, when you were 2-4, what did it take for this team to buy in and find their identity and to believe in the system with you as the first year as the head coach?
Well, it was great, the senior leadership that was provided by our seniors, and they stepped up. And you just look at tonight, you know, just key guys like Diggs and John Harris, and then guys just making plays all over the field. But, you know, I told them, I said, at some point the seniors got to develop some ownership, and they have to take over this team, and that's what happened.
I appreciate it. Congratulations, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, Chris. College football is not finished tonight. Go over to Fox Sports 1. North Texas taking on UTEP. All Miners so far, 21-0. Good day for football teams out of Texas. Coming up next on Fox, except on the West Coast, it's your late local news. So Texas has won 3 in a row and 4 of its last 5. 1 game left. The Longhorns have sent a loud and clear message up to Fort Worth. That final game's on Thanksgiving night on Fox Sports 1 against TCU. Charlie Strong's bunch ready for that one. Riding high into that game. For Joey Harrington, Chris Budden, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Stillwater, where Texas rolls Oklahoma State and reaches bowl eligibility.